Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Coffee with Craig. We very much appreciate you guys tuning in. Please take a moment to like and share this video feed, whether you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube. Let your friends know about who we are and what we're doing, and help them to join in the conversations. We talk about the Second Amendment and firearms, whether we're talking about politics, culture, movies, you name it, this is the spot. So, once again, please take a moment to like and share. Also, do us a favor. You know, I rarely do this, but I want to ask you guys to make sure to join the Firearms Policy Coalition. I know a lot of you guys don't even realize that FPC is actually an advocacy organization. That's the number one thing we do. As much as I enjoy doing these videos and coming on and having coffee with you guys every morning, the fact is that we are first and foremost a Second Amendment civil rights advocacy group, and we can only do what we do, whether it's lobbying in California, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, or Washington, D.C., the call to actions and the fire missions that we've done in other states, including Delaware or Florida or Pennsylvania. We're only able to do those things because of our members, right? And as a member, you'll be the first one to get information, to be able to get connected whenever we have something that's going on. Whenever we have a need for people to be active and engaged, number one, you'll be able to support that effort. But number two, you'll have the information that you need in order to get engaged. So please support the Firearms Policy Coalition either by making a donation or by becoming a member. All you have to do is go to joinfpc.org, where you can actually become a member, or you just follow the link in the description of this video at the very bottom if you're already a member, and you can support us with a contribution. So thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. We don't do this without you. Whether it's you making those phone calls, whether it's you sending the emails, or whether it's your contributions, we only do what we do because of you. So thank you so very much. Let's get into today's topic. Now, we're always told that we don't need to have a right to keep and bear arms because, well, the government is there to protect us. You know, that's the whole thing. That's unfortunately there are some people for whom every answer to every problem, every solution is related to the government. And the government is supposed to solve all of our problems. Well, what do we do when the government fails? Well, in the case of firearms or shootings, we blame the gun. We rarely do we ever see folks, the anti-gun folks, actually look at government, the people who they want us to give our rights over to, that they want us to surrender our self-defense rights to. Rarely do we ever see them look at the government in order to hold the government accountable. Well, there is a recent report out that is denoting that, Nicholas Cruz, who was the shooter in the Parkland shooting in Parkland, Florida about a month ago, a lot of folks don't even know that this individual was actually recommended to be institutionalized, or at least temporarily institutionalized. Here's a story that we found coming out of Florida that kind of talks a little bit about what was going on and actually what wound up happening.
Tonight, word that two school counselors and a sheriff's deputy tried to get Florida school shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz forcibly committed for a mental health evaluation. But the September 2016 recommendation was never acted on. An involuntary commitment would have made it difficult, if not impossible, for Cruz to have legally obtained the AR-15 used in last month's attack. The deputy who recommended Cruz be committed was Scott Peterson. He retired after it was revealed he remained outside the school while the shootings took place.
Okay, so number one, and I think I think it's important to note, you know, Scott Peterson is, once again, as they noted in the report, the same officer who stayed outside of the school while the shooting was taking place. And, you know, there's conflicting accounts as to whether, you know, he was just staying outside or whether he thought the shooting was outside. That's not what we're talking about here. But at least note that the school resource officer there at the school actually had informed and told authorities that this was an individual who was dangerous and possibly needed to be committed. In fact, the report goes on to note Documents showed in his criminal case that he had written the word kill in a notebook, and he actually told a classmate that he wanted to buy a gun and use it, right? And they had cut his arm and supposedly cut his arm in anger when he broke up with his girlfriend. Now, once again, this was an individual. All of this was reported to the FBI. And evidently, all this was reported to the FBI, and absolutely nothing was done. So we can see once again, and this is very similar to what happened in the Texas shooting, in the shooting in Sutherland, Texas, where the authorities should have been appropriately notified. This in Sutherland, Texas. That was a guy who was convicted of domestic violence. It should have been reported to Nix, and he shouldn't have been able to buy a gun. If this individual, if Mr. Cruz had been reported, had actually been held, if they had done what they probably should have done, it would have made it so that this individual would not have been able to purchase a firearm or own or possess a firearm. But guess what? Government failed to do their job. And as a result, lives were lost. See, this is the reason why I want to be able to exercise my right to be able to keep and bear arms. Why I want to be able to defend myself, because I've come to realize that when you depend on government as the answer to your problems, too often you'll come up on the short end of the stick. Too often you will wind up and government will fail you. I sit on a school board here in Sacramento. In a number of my schools, the law enforcement is probably, or the nearest substation is probably at least 7-8 minutes away. When the average mass shooting lasts about 4 minutes, that means that if they are called as soon as things happen, the soonest we can expect anybody to arrive is going to be 3 minutes too late. Folks, and once again, I'm not trying to disparage law enforcement. The fact is that there's only so many of them, and they can't be everywhere. I get that. I believe they get that. The rank and file law enforcement officers get that. The people who don't seem to get it are the politicians who for some reason want to make victims out of you and me, who want to make victims out of our children by putting them in a situation where not only are they defenseless, but they want to tell the entire world that they are defenseless by putting a sign out, by creating a policy and promoting it throughout media. This is a gun-free zone. Telling people who are seeking to perpetrate a crime against as many people as possible exactly where to go. Hey, you want to meet zero resistance or almost no resistance? Go here, because it's a gun-free zone. That's what Nicholas Cruz knew. And guess what? He got away. Well, he didn't get away with it, but he went and committed a great atrocity. And it's unfortunate that we're now talking about this after the fact. It's unfortunate that you're not going to hear a lot about this in the mainstream media because, well, they're more interested in the firearm he used than the fact that, because government dropped the ball, he should have never been in a position to be able to own that firearm. But, hey, that's not the popular opinion. That's not the popular perspective. Anyway, but we all know different. That's why we need to make sure, once again, like and share. Like and share. Like and share these videos. Let your friends know about the Firearms Policy Coalition. Let them know that we're fighting against policies like gun-free school zones that make victims of our children. That we support the idea of allowing individuals who work at schools, if they want to be able to conceal carry and have demonstrated themselves to be law-abiding citizens, that they have the ability to defend themselves, defend their coworkers, and defend the students that they work with. That we defend the rights of individuals to be able to exercise their constitutional right to be able to defend themselves. Anyway. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let your friends know about FPC. We are the home in the fight for civil rights. Remember, Got to use them or you're going to lose them. You guys take care.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.